HeylloPotato. A while ago, me and my friend, who I'll be calling Friend, participated in Ludum Dare 47. Ludum Dare is a game jam where you either make a game in 48 hours alone in the compo, or 72 hours with a team, or alone in the jam. Both of them have the same theme you need to base your game off of. So let's start this journey at the beginning, with the theme. The theme this time around, like it always is, was terrible. The theme was Stuck in a Loop. When they announced that was the theme, I was surprised. I totally forgot it was even a contestant for being the theme. When I told my mom what it was, she thought I was lying about it. Even she knew it was bad. But we had to go with it. So we, and when I say we, I mean Friend because my mind was blank, got to thinking about what we should make our game about. The first idea was you were in a normal game and you had to lead the game to get to the actual game. Another idea was you were stuck in a toilet paper roll. Because the roll is a loop. Well, we couldn't come up with any ideas, so I started searching up the meaning of loop. None of the ideas were good though. And then we decided what kind of gameplay to add to the game. Because we never actually get to the gameplay part of a game, it's normally just the game looking good. Then we started to think, just do a 2D side platformer. And one of our ideas, which was the one we went with, was you're in a dream and you're stuck in it. Super unique. So we started development of the game. I got to working on 2D platformer movement, which isn't that exciting, so something a lot more exciting was what Friend was doing. He was working on the art design and getting the character done. He ended up with a bubbly boy. At the end of the day, he got the character done, including animations, and I had the movement with a broken jump that I was going to fix the next day. The morning of Saturday, I got to work on the jump again and making the character feel good. I was having some trouble with the jump, and this is something I want to work on later to try to figure out how to make a good jump, but in the meantime, I got it working. I already had the player walking and idle animation in, just need to get the jump animation in. So I got it in, and the player was done. Next thing I had to do was one of the biggest challenges for me in the game. The dialogue between the old man and you at the end of the levels. Before this, I have never done a dialogue system before, but at least I didn't need to add player choices to the dialogue, so all I had to do was get the old man to talk and be able to click space to go to the next line. I had to search the internet to find out how to do it. I was looking through different tutorials like from Brackeys and Blackthorn Prod. I decided I'll go with Blackthorn Prod's version, but there was a problem I found with it. In this video, when you're trying to go to the next line when it's in the middle of typing one, it would just jumble up all the letters. So his solution was to make it so you can't go to the next line until the line that you're at is already done. But I wanted the player to be able to skip midway through the dialogue. So I had to try a couple things to get it to work, and went through many bugs, but I finally got it to work. The solution was just to stop the coroutine for the dialogue, and then start it again with a new sentence. And it worked great. While I was getting this done, Friend was working on art for the platforms. Once we finished and I put in the game, we had some issues. Now, we haven't done platforms before, and the issue was the lines were off by a tiny bit, and anti-aliasing was messing it up. The reason why was because we cut it up before putting it into Unity instead of cutting it up into multiple pieces inside of Unity. So Friend redid the art for the platform twice to try to fix it until we figured out that was the issue, and only had to redo it one more time to fix it. So it worked great, and at this point we had the basis of the game complete. Now we just need to get the levels over with, make the game look good too, and get maybe a little bit of story in there. Easy, right? For the rest of the day, I just wanted to get all the levels complete so the next day we can just focus on making it look good and also play good. It went well and things were going good, but when I was making it, my mind just kept going blank, and I didn't know where to put things and how to structure it. We had some ideas for what we were going to add to make the atmosphere look better and add up to a story. Those things were a dove, a ball, a rocket, and a plane. I had to make it so those things fit in the levels. I just could not think of what to do though. I ended up getting the first level done at a good pace, thinking I was going to get all 3 levels done by the end of the day, but ended up only with 2. Since the second level took quite a while to get the ball to work, and then I decided to make it so one of the platforms falls with you, and then it disappears once you get to the old man. This took a lot longer than I thought it was going to. We ended the day with 2 out of 3 levels. So we started Sunday a bit behind, but nothing you can do about it except for not being behind. So right at the start of the day, Friend finished the art for the ball. When I added it in, I realized that it doesn't rotate when I add the image in, so I made a quick script to make it rotate. It worked well, so I kept going on. Next, I had to do the last level. At this point, friend was working on the dove, rocket, and plane that we were going to add to the game. I was having struggles with the level, so I decided I'm just going to rotate the blocks a little bit to make it look unique, or something like that. Also, just to add a new thing to the game, I added a move and spike. So with the last level complete, I made sure it worked. We were only a couple hours behind, all is good. I then go and add the dub that friend drew. While I did that, friend worked on the rocket. For the dub, I made it so once you get close, it flies away because it's scared of you. That was easy to implement. It only took a little bit of time to find the right ascent rate for the flight of the dub to bring you to your death. After implementing the beautiful dub, I got to work on the main menu. Friend drew a nice looking background to it. I added the game name and a start button and made it look clean. After that, friend left me, and I decided I want to make a transition between the scenes, so I got a black square and made a couple transition animations for it, and then programmed it so whenever you switch scenes, it fades out. It looked nice. Next up, I had to place the dub for the second level, because I only did it in the third. 'Twas an easy fix. I then added the rocket in, which for that, I just made it go up once you reach a certain point in the level. For the rocket, I made particles for the fire. Friend came back and then said to me, "Oh, you actually made some progress." After I showed friend what I did, he said I'll make fire for the rocket because it looks bad. So all my hard work went to the trash, or I could say, it burned. While he was making an anime in the fire, I had to add in the start animation he made that I forgot to add in earlier while I was doing the main menu. For this, I just used an eye enumerator to time the end of the animation with the start transition to then go to the next scene. I also added in an animation to the camera to play once the scene loads that zooms in. Friend finished the rocket fire at that point, and I replaced my fire with his. At this point, we didn't have much time left of the day, or the jam for that matter, and this is also the point we realized a fatal mistake in our plan. We needed to make sound effects. The last thing we did for the day was the music that we used for the start and the end. Immediately after, I added the music to the start, and then after that, he had to leave. After he left, I added the music to the end scene, changed the speed and pitch, and called it a day. The last day, well, more like the last some amount of hours, yeah, we didn't have that much time left, but we had a lot of stuff to do. So the first thing we had to do is knock sound effects out. Our goal was to make it so it's a windy area, and for it to be a windy area, you need wind. I thought I was being smart since it was a windy day. I was going to go outside and record the wind, and like friend thought it was going to happen, well, it did not sound good at all, and it just didn't work. So we ended up doing what friend suggested and making it with our mouth and editing it until it sounded good, which worked a lot better. Next, we had to get the sounds for the intro animation. This included sleeping noises and ambience. For the sleeping noises, I did the stereotypical sleeping sound or something like it and changed the pitch. For ambience, we didn't really know what to do, so I just plopped in some squawking for my bird and changed it up through software a bit. After this, I had to add in the planes to make the last level look really cool, because planes are cool. Well, when I initially added this, I thought it was going to be smart to have one of the planes fall due to engine failure, because it was going to work with the initial story we scratched out. But then I realized that's dumb and we didn't have a lot of time, so a little bit too late I ditched that too, and just went to 3 planes flying by. To make it look a bit special, I had to make them move at different speeds, so it doesn't look as fake, even though it still does. So with the planes in, we went back to sound effects, and there were only a couple more sound effects to do, and that was the ball, the rocket, and the plane. The bouncy ball, friend made a more creepy version of circus music, since it's not like you can have rolling sound effects. That'd be weird. So that was all fine and dandy. Next we had to go into the plane noises. I forgot to record us making the noises, so I'm not quite sure how to explain what we did because I forgot. But a friend made some sounds and we edited it until it sort of sounded maybe like a plane, and here was the result. I think it sounded good. Right after that, we had to make the rocket sounds. Friend made it, and it sounded good. By the way, for the sound effects in the game, we used Audacity. Once we finished the sound effects, I put them in the game, and I made it get quieter the further you go from the sound by making them a 3D sound in Unity. After this, we wanted to push the looks of the game and add a bit more pizzazz, so Grass made some grass and grass animations, and we didn't have time to make it so when you walk in the grass, it moves, So we put it in front of the player so we didn't need to. And then we copy and pasted around the map and changed the sizes and color a bit. Next we had to add some particles to make it look shiny. I made 2 different particles, one for in the front and one in the back, to make the world look more alive and also more 3D. So for this, I just put some noise in and made it so it's random sized, added a cool leaf friend drew for one of them, and put them all together, and the outcome with all this turned out good. And it moved. At this point, we really only had an hour left, and you might think it would be smart going through fixing things up, but no, that's not smart at all. So, instead, next we try to add light in, except when we did this, the particles broke and turned into purple squares. I had to go through and get rid of the light in and fix the particles again. Wasted 15 minutes with that. Now finally, we should go fix the game, right? Absolutely not. Next, we decided we should make it so the intro animation with the person sleeping should also be in the end scene, but this time in reverse, and then it plays normal, like super cool, because it's stuck in a loop, right? So I start trying to do that, and 20 minutes later, it's a lost cause, and we get it back to how it was before. Next, we finally had a smart idea. We figured out what we were going to name the game, and then we put that in the main menu and the end scene. With this in, and 10 minutes left of the jam before the hour grace period to submit, we were done. Is there anything I regret doing when making? Yes, I should have focused more on the gameplay, but I did have a blast making it. If you want to play our entry, Passerby, the link will be in the description. So that's the end of the journey, but now we're just waiting for another journey to start.